Taller than life here. I'm in a bit of a rush. So I'm going to be doing my hair while I run with you. A quick game of keep, sell and loan going through the Chelsea squad. This is going off of my personal preference and I'll be explaining my answers as we go through each player. So first one up, Kepa Arrizabalaga, our number one. I say we should sell him. He has underachieved throughout his whole career. Obviously, he's had some good penalty shootout performances. He's had good runs of form, but he just doesn't have the foundations of a top keeper. And if we're going to challenge seriously for on all fronts, we need a better keeper. Like they say that class is permanent, but I also believe the opposite, where if you're rubbish, that's permanent too. You're going to have good runs of form. By the end of the day, you're rubbish. We've seen plenty players come and go with great runs of form and then go back to their base level. Kepa's base level is not good enough for Chelsea. So we are going to sell Kepa. Next up, Edouard Mendy went from, was it World Keeper of the Year or whatever, European Keeper of the Year, to his form falling off a cliff. He has been shocking, was even shocking in the World Cup for Senegal. He was the only goalie that conceded against Qatar in the whole competition. Doesn't look good, but he has shown some great promise in his peak form in his first season for Chelsea. I think we've given Kepa so many chances to rectify his form. Mendy's slipped up once, not once, but he's had one bad run of form, which has gone on for quite a bit if we're going to be honest. He hasn't really had a chance to fully rectify himself and have a little remontada. So I think we should keep Edouard Mendy, but I think we should get someone else in to replace Kepa. Obviously, compete with the first team spot for Mendy. Even just get a better keeper than Mendy. I think from where he's come, from being nearly homeless and clubless to where he's come now to winning awards and Champions Leagues, making history. I think it's such a steep rise to fame. I think he should be happy to just mellow out a bit as our second choice keeper until we can earn his place back. Because if he does recapture that form that made us fall in love with him in the first place, I don't think there's many, if any, goalkeepers that will keep him out of the first team. Especially where we are now, where we're not in Europe. We're not going to be attracting the best of the best just yet. So for this year, I'd say keep him as a second choice. I'm not doing Bettinelli because, third choice keepers don't really have much of an impact on our season. So he can stay in there. I don't really care whether he comes or goes, if I'm honest. But yeah, love to Bettinelli. He's a blue. But next up, Benoit Badiashile. He's a baddie, he does what he wants. He's been absolutely brilliant since he's come in. Apart from when he had to play under Lampard, which I'm not going to hold anything against him. Lampard made the likes of Rudiger and Christensen look absolutely helpless. So I'm going to take him for his form under Potter, which was brilliant. His presence does make Levi Colwell's road to the first team a lot more difficult. But he's here now and he's been amazing. So I'm going to keep Benoit. Thiago Silva, what is there to say about him? He has made himself a legend in the 3 seasons he's been here. He's been our best defender throughout. And he's nearly 40? I don't even think this is a debate. I think he's one of the few players where 100% of Chelsea fans want him to stay. He's won our hearts. He's a blue forever. Trevor Milik-Gondrilla. I like Trevor. I like him a lot. I do think he is better in a back 3 than a back 4. But he can play right back. He can play centre back. I think he's a good squad player. I think he might have ambitions beyond squad player. But if he would like to stay, I would like to keep him. So that's my thoughts on Trev. I think he's been hard done by in his last few seasons at Chelsea. He's done very well to break in. And he's even said, he said he wanted to fight for his spot, didn't he? He's done it before. I think he'll do it again. Up the Trev. Ben Chilwell. I've got mixed views on him. I think he's a world-class fullback, but I think he's a dodgy left-back. His defensive capabilities worried me when he was at Leicester, and when we bought him for 50 mil, I was concerned. But he came in, when Tuchel come in and we started playing 3-4-3, he was excellent. But this season he's been a bit dodgy again as we've gone to a back 4. Can't say I'm surprised. But I'll keep him, man. There's a lot of promise there. I think with Poch, with a good coach, he can potentially become a very good left back. He's got the attributes. He just needs to switch on when he's defending. And yeah, I believe he can do it. I want him to. I like him. But yeah, keep Ben. Reece James, aka Beast James. Top right back, any top fullback. He is probably our best player. Best right back in the world in my eyes. Obviously a keep. He's our prized asset, and you know, one of Cobham's own. It's a no-brainer. So, KK Koulibaly. Never rated him, if I'm honest. Even back when he was younger, rated at like 90 odd million. I was like, this ain't the guy. This guy is in a league where Chris Smalling looks like Nesta. He was in the back four where Arsenal trounced Napoli 4-1 in the Europa League. And since he's come, he's had some great performances and a lot of dodgy ones. So I don't rate him as a player. I never have. Like, I think he's good, but not Chelsea good. Not top level good. He's I don't know, man. I've just never been convinced. He's got that bozo gene strong. He's good on the ball when he has time. Nah, man. Koulibaly, not for me. Should have never got him. Want him gone. Azpilicueta, Captain Fantastic. He's won it all, hasn't he? But he's got to go. He stayed a year too long. I think the only reason Tuchel kept him is because they got along. And I think he needed allies in the dressing room during a turbulent time for stability. But yeah, his legs have been gone for a while now. And to be honest, he's been a good captain and served us well, but I'd like a bit more vigour, a bit more aggression in our next captain. But yeah, thank you for everything, Cesar. You've given us some great memories. People forget how good you were in your prime sometimes. People forget, as a right back, you actually took Ashley Cole spot as a left back, which is why he left for Roma. Like, you were that good. So thank you for your services. You've been amazing. You're a Chelsea legend and a Premier League legend. Best of luck in your next chapter. Marc Cucurella. So, I rated him at Brighton. Rated him highly. I still think there is a good player in there. He showed that against Dortmund. He hasn't shown it this season, to be honest, but it's been a turbulent season as a new signing in this absolute circus. I'm not surprised he hasn't settled, but I think next season, under Posh, I think he will do a job for us. And to be honest, I'd start him over Chilwell. We'll see what happens in it. See if I look stupid for saying that. Time will tell. Wesley Fofana. So, top player, I think. Obviously, he had some turbulent patches under Lampard, but who doesn't as a defender? The guy's an awful manager. Yeah, he's got all the attributes needed for a top defender. He is a top defender and he's still young. Big signing. Yeah, the sky's the limit for him. I want to keep him. But I just wish that Chelsea would scout players before they become common knowledge. Like, when we signed for Fofana, any pub-going casual football fan could have told you that Fofana was a top centre-back from his performances. I think the whole point of a scout is to find unearthed gems that people don't really know about, that the casual fan might overlook. We get them on a cheap, they start playing and they're amazing. That's what a scout's meant to do. I don't get what these Chelsea scouts are doing if all they're doing is just picking out talent that everyone knows is good already. What are you getting paid grands a week for? But yeah, keep Fofana. We have Levi Colwill. He's proved he's mustard, ain't he, at Brighton. There's no reason why he can't replicate that at Chelsea. I won't be surprised if he wants to leave because he wants first team football guaranteed. To be honest, he shouldn't go back to Brighton. I think he can play at a high level, if I'm honest. As much as Brighton are done really well last year. But yeah, obviously keep him if he wants to stay. But if he wants to go, we also shouldn't let him hold him back because there's a lot of defenders in his way blocking his route to first team. So yeah. That's it for the defenders. I know there are other ones on loan, such as Maatsen. But there's too many Chelsea players, man. I'll be here forever. So I'm wrapping up the defenders here. Let me know in the comments where you want Maatsen to go or stay or go on loan. But yeah, midfielders. Starting off with